everybody. Y'all give a wave and let everybody see you. Say hello. What's up? What's up?
Good evening, everybody.
All right, beauty. So go ahead and spread the wealth on your private pages so we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my other platforms while you guys go ahead and share to your personal pages and your separate platforms. So I'm going to go ahead and share on my side. This is going to be exciting. We have some incredible beauties on the stage tonight. Super excited to have these incredible, amazing women in with us tonight. That is what's up. All right, let me put this in here. We're gonna get this party started. All right, y'all. All right, I have posted this on all of my platforms. So good evening, everybody. To Mitchell, you're missing, mama. Where you at?
Hold on, I'm trying to share this. Hold on, un momento.
All right, okay.
Okay, so I got it. I was just trying to get it on my platform.
All right.
Hold on. Let me just make sure.
All right, we got some people chiming in this evening. Welcome in, everybody, as you're commenting. Welcome in, say hello. Hey, Ken, Ashira, hello, beautiful. Is it Jamie? I want to say it's Jamie McKay. Gracia Collins Rich, come on in, people. Thank you guys for joining us. Go ahead and spread the wealth on your personal platforms as we get this incredible discussion started. We have some phenomenal women on the panel tonight. I want to first acknowledge Misty Telford. She was supposed to be on with us tonight, but she lost her father. So Misty, you are in our prayers. We are praying and lifting you up, calling your name out. We love you, lady. We're covering you in prayer, and we're definitely lifting up you and your family at this time of this difficult hour that you all are facing. We definitely love you, and we miss you. We miss your presence with us, but we know that you'll be able to come when you're, when everything is settled and everything is better. We are sorry. I don't even know what to say. I still have my dad, so I can't imagine that loss. My children lost their father in 2011. So I've experienced it from a spousal level, but not from a child losing their father. So prayers are lifted up for her most definitely during this time. All right, so we're going to get this party started. I am Coach Koffe Brown here in the great state of Texas, by way of Houston, by way of Jacksonville, Florida, by way of Detroit, Michigan, and all the other wonderful places where I resided, okay? But I am super excited. I am your hostess with the mostest. This is the hot seat where we have real talks about real topics in real time, dealing with real relationships. And we have some incredible ladies in the building with us tonight, some phenomenal leaders who are on the panel with us tonight. We have the Red Wine Diva right here in Houston, Texas, that is with us tonight. She is an educator. She is a businesswoman. She is a phenomenal being. So Janiqua Lachey, give the folks a wave off and show them some love, Janiqua. Yes. And then we have my other fellow coach, Loretta Diane, in the building with us tonight. Go, ooh, yes, honey, it's about to be fire up in here tonight, okay? And then we have Cynthia Cooper-Feld in the building, honey. Miss America herself, honey. Miss America herself, honey. Her and her husband are the only accredited barber school in the state of New York. You guys show your love for Cynthia Cooper-Feld in the building. And then we have the incredible, incomparable Dr. Yolanda Jerry. She is also salute to service to our United States Armed Forces. She is incredible. We love her so much, and we're honored to have her with us. She is super busy with the projects that she's spearheading, and she took the time out to come with us, and we are honored. We salute you, and we thank you for being here with us tonight. We love you so much. Thank you so much. And then we have the realtor to the stars in the building, honey. the gorgeous, my business partner, one of my friends for many years now, doing some incredible things, her and her amazing husband. Her name is Tamisha Pratchett, honey. Mrs. Tamisha Pratchett is in the building with us tonight. So everybody, we're excited and fired up about this dialogue. We're going to go ahead and dive into our discussion for tonight. Welcome in, everybody. We got Ivy, Ashley, Alice, my big sister. We got Mean Green in the building. We have Brenda. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome on in. All right, so we're going to get this party started because we want to be honorable and respectful of the time. But we're going to start off by basically giving you the backdrop of what this discussion is actually about. I know you saw it and you said, who are we without the makeup? And you're thinking, well, some of them got on makeup. I mean, why they got on makeup? That is not what this is about. This is about who are we behind the makeup, make-up, meaning the demographic of the design of who we are and the roles that we play in the lives that we're attached to and connected to. We're talking about who we are in our feminine energy at our rawest state of existence, outside of every responsibility that we have, or do we even know who we are? Have we gotten so far into these roles and these positions and this and that and the other that we do not identify in our rawest state of existence to the place where we even know who we are? I'll give you a perfect example. If you ask the average woman who she is, she'll start giving you accolades. Well, I got a business degree, I work here, I'm this, that, and the other. No, sweetie, that's what you do. That is not who you are. And so if you pay attention to people, when you have these dialogues and conversations, and I know my fellow coaches can definitely attest to this, when you first start having the dialogue with people and they start rattling off what they've done, that's a clear indication that they have no clue as to who they actually are. So we want to tap into this discussion and into this fluid dialogue about who are we behind the makeup. This is not about women. This is about all of us, because men have makeup too. All right. So the first person in the hot seat tonight, she is brand new to the hot seat. This is her first appearance of many. I am speaking and honey. Yes, yes, and yes. She is out of the state of New York doing some incredible things. Cynthia Cooperfelder, please unmute yourself. And I want you to share with these beautiful people. I know you are a mother and you have an incredible daughter that you have raised into an amazing womanhood. I want you to share with us, who are you without the makeup?
Who am I without the makeup? Raising two girls, a wife, That's such an interesting question, because you put on the spot after they tell you what you do.
Yeah.
Besides having three businesses and stuff, you start talking into that right away, not realizing you just totally lost yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is the hot seat.
Right. It is the hot seat. Yes, it is. Really, truly.
You don't think about it. And I find myself, even when I'm doing my daily things, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about everything else and not who Cynthia is and what I am behind the makeup. Mm-hmm.
See, that's the beauty of this discussion, because we want people to start considering these things. Consider, who are you behind the makeup? And it's so funny, when I started considering even myself, I was like, oh, I was somebody's mama when I was 4. That was one of my babies. That was my mama's children. And, from then to now, I was always somebody's mama. You know what I mean? And that wasn't my makeup. My makeup was, when I first dropped into the world, I could sing. Like, by the time I was 6 months, I could literally hum an entire song from start to finish in my crib. So behind the makeup, I was a singer. I was artistic, very creative, super energetic. And then things that happened in life changed my thought of who I was from the stance of the makeup, So I sat and I pondered that. I was like, ooh, this is some good stuff, seriously, because you're right. Sometimes we have so many roles and so many responsibilities till the makeup becomes our actual identifier. It becomes our identifier. Dr. Jerry, come on and chime in. Dr. Yolanda Jerry, she is an author, a life coach. She's served in our armed forces and she's doing so many incredible things. She is in the middle of an amazing project like myself, getting ready to share with the world some content in the chapters of a book. Dr. Jerry, come on, share with us about who are you behind the makeup and give us some content for these beautiful people in the audience to consider.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me tell you who I am. I am that lady that is from New Orleans, Louisiana, born and raised.
Hey.
My mother and father's child. I am a single parent. I love music. So music has always been my thing. I played the trombone in elementary all the way up to high school. I was on a dance team. I'm still that person that liked to dance even as an adult. So don't judge me.
Hey, I felt that, girl.
And I just love serving people. You know, I've always been a person, I was raised in a household where my parents were very nurturing. And so from the child all the way up to now, I'm just a natural born servant, willing to always not only serve, you know, people in profession, but also people who need help and who ask for help. So I'm always willing to serve others.
And I love that. That's truly who you are behind the makeup. I remember when I first met you in Atlanta, you were immediately serving other people just off natural cuff. It was like, wow, she really is. She does. I mean, like you could tell that that is who you are behind the makeup, a servant at heart. And I mean, you could see it like basically even in your persona and even in your share, you just knew that if you were in a space where Yolanda Jerry, Dr. Jerry could add value to you, she would do it if she could add value to you. And secondly, if you were appreciative of the value added, we're not just adding value because we can. We want you to be clear on that and appreciate the value that is being added to you. To Mitchell Pratchett, Miss Real to herself, talking about educating the community, adding value in that arena in Jacksonville, Florida. Tell the people who you are without the makeup and add value to the dialogue.
You know, I think that, and it's so funny because I came up with this, like somebody asked me this question years ago, and I was like, man, I am really just like rambling off all of my titles, but I'm not rambling off who I am. And so, you know, what I came up with, or what I know to be true, is that I'm a light. I'm a very big light. And I think I'm a contributor to people's dreams and aspirations and things like that. And I think that if you had to ask me, hey, what do you feel like your giftedness, what God blessed you with? I think it's just being a light to wherever I go, mm-hmm. and making sure that I bring that positivity and I bring that, you know, not that charger. It's the other charger. It's
okay.
fine.
It's okay, honey. The children's ministry. It's all right, honey.
It's just a roll. It's just a roll. It's just a roll.
It's okay, but it's a roll. It's not who you are. It's a roll, honey.
No, but seriously, I had to really think about that. And I agree with what the doctor said. It's like we just start rambling off like, oh, I'm a mom, I'm this, I'm a wife, I'm that. You know, I am. But like, who am I without all of that? And I think that without all of that, I think that I bring, you know, I bring light, I bring positivity, I bring contribution, and that's what I get, you know, my gratification from, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I am right now, is that when somebody asked me that, now I'm ready for that question. Whereas opposed to a couple of years ago, I would just be like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I do this, I do that. You know, I'm naming everything I do, but I'm not naming everything that I am,
right?
You know? Yeah.
And it's so beautiful to get back to that,
right?
Keep that part of you intact, because you do get lost in life transition.
Absolutely.
You know, when you start procreating, especially, and then, or you know, for us that have been surrogates to somebody else's children, and we got to deal with that, and then you know, when you have a spouse, you got to deal with what's going on with your spouse, and because we are earth, we are receiving and so many different things just by nature being women that it's so difficult at times to remember that, hey, I'm just love. I'm just beauty.
Right.
I'm just straight positive energy.
Right.
I'm just joy. I'm just
right.
I'm peace. Wherever I'm at, I bring peace to the place. You know, just who we are, because when it is ironic, like when somebody else describes you, they say who you are, not what you do.
Correct. That's so true.
You grace the stage of their lives, they say who you are, not what you do. We're going to go to Coach Loretta Diane in the building. Hey, ow, whoa.
That's
girl,
my boo.
Welcome back. It's been a while since we've been here in the same space, and it's always an honor and a blessing to have you with us. Talk to us. The one thing that I always have loved about you is the natural element that you bring to any equation, anything that you are a part of. I love that about you. It's like she has on her vibration earrings with the natural. I'm like, get it, Loretta, girl, where you going? Where I want to go. So I have always loved that about you in whatever arena. I remember one time I saw a picture of you with this ballroom gown on and this afro. I think you were with your dad or something. Was that when you
in a picture with my dad? Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I was like, girl, yes, give it to them. And you know, now, guys, seriously, though, on a serious note, in the time and the space that we live in, we can come however we choose to come. And they don't have to just deal with it, period. Because when we open our mouths and we give them that life, it shuts everything down from there, shuts it down. Loretta, who are you behind the makeup, and add some value to the dialogue, beauty?
It's so funny that you asked that question. I was just talking about this very same topic to someone the other day. And for me, it has always been whenever someone asks me, well, I'll take that back. When I was a little girl, it started from when I was a little girl and how I was raised. My family, very encouraging. I don't care whatever it was that I was doing. They always spoke life into me. They always believed in me. So one of the running jokes was when I was little, I had Chinese eyes. So my aunt used to always call me Loretta Diane Hong Kong Porter. So whenever someone asked me, who am I, what's my name, I would proudly say Loretta Diane Hong Kong Porter. And at the age of 39, when you ask me who I am, I can proudly say, I am Loretta Diane. Well, what is Loretta Diane? Who is Loretta Diane? Loretta Diane is light. Loretta Diane is love. Like, I love to give to people. That's what I love to do. That's what I have always done. That's what my grandmother instilled in all of her children. That's what my mother instilled in me. I just love to give. I just love to give freely to people. I love to give the element. The most important thing that I love to give to people is the element of family, because everywhere that I have been people that I have, crossed paths with in life, I've always come to people where their family isn't as tight knit as mine, or their family isn't as close, or they just don't have that family element. And because I've always been around love and surrounded by love, I like to always show that and give that to other people. I like to invite other people into my space to offer them love, for them to have that experience and have that feeling. So who is Loretta Diane behind the makeup, behind what she does, or whatever you may think that she does? Loretta Diane is light. Loretta Diane is love. She's a child of God. I just am.
Oh, honey, all right. Cynthia, I want to go back to you. When she just started talking about, she basically broke down behind the makeup, and then we're gonna go to Janiqua over there getting all cooled off in the ministry, huh?
Yeah, right now I'm a part of the hot flash ministry. That's what I'm in right now. So let me just
I love this.
I am a part of the hot flash ministry right now, sweetheart.
Yes. Hey, listen. Honey,
behind the makeup, that is who I am.
You better, girl, listen. That's a whole entire word right there. Why you joking, honey? Listen, y'all. Oh, let's not even talk about that. Okay. I just tapped into the middle of the 40s ministry. And I said, I woke up like 2 nights ago. I said, what the hell and cheese is going on with the heat? I mean, it ain't, why am I like soaking wet in the middle? Who did this? What is the problem? What's going on? And I called my mom. She was laughing at me so hard, y'all. She was like, baby, it's that time. I said, what that mean? What you mean it's that time? I'm 45. Ain't no time. My mother was like, baby, it's that time, boo. But Cynthia, I wanted to piggyback off of what Loretta was saying when she spoke about family. Family plays such a huge part in who we are behind the makeup. It almost makes or break us when it talks about who we are behind the makeup. I know you deal with a lot of young people on a habitual basis. What are some of the things that you've had to help young women to deal with behind their makeup, with the broken families and things like that? What have you done as a mentor and a guide to kind of help them to kind of like identify a new village? Because sometimes you have to create a whole new village.
I find the young ladies between the ages of 18 and 25 are the girls that are lost, as far as they have so much pressure on them. Got to get married, got to go to school. Am I going to have a kid? And the young ladies that I mentor, they were like, they didn't have no identity. They had like social media and TVs telling them what they have to do. So who are you and who you want to be is what the conversation was about. And the fact they did not have that structure at home. Those are the young girls that I had to deal with. And being that, being an example, and I'm proud to say that I had my parents growing up that instilled in me that I can do anything and that positive reinforcement. Yes. So those are the things that I had to turn around and give to those other generations, because I really feel that it's our responsibility for that next generation. And those young girls, ooh, when they open up to you, they said, you hit it right on the nail. I was like, but I have to hurry, I gotta get married, I gotta have a kid, I have to do this. And they lose their self altogether. So those ages from 18 and 25 are crucial.
Yeah. And there goes the makeup. There goes that makeup.
It's gone.
I gotta look this way to this particular audience to be accepted. Because I'm not going to be accepted in my decision to do something outside of what I've been told I should do. And that's an unfortunate thing that we've seen for many, many generations, where our girls don't get the freedom of choice to decide who they want to become, what they want to do. It's ironic because my youngest daughter, she is super gifted doing hair and makeup. The girl, when I tell you, she got my gift. I mean, like from the time she was a tiny human, she was able to like braid Barbie dolls and everything. She was just so gifted in that area. And so I remember one day we had a conversation. She said, what if I decide I don't want to be a hairstylist? And I said, that's your decision. I said, but I will tell you this much. You might want to embrace that gift and get paid for it. Because if you're going to be putting your hands in somebody's head, go ahead and get the credentials and get the money. And I shared with her the importance of that value. I said, don't devalue your gift. That's what God gave you. That's what that came, you got that directly from the creator of the universe. Nobody gave you that. Gifts and callings are without repentance. If you ever know anything about biblical principles and truths, the gifts that we get a package deal when we drop out of heaven into through our mother's womb and into the earth. We get this package. And I said, you got a package that people pay for and they will never be able to do in authenticity like you can. You can girl, you might want to explore that. I said, and I'm not going to force you to, but I want you to use wisdom in your quest to become the person that you believe you want to be. Janiqua, I know with you being an educator and you're dealing firsthand on the front lines with a lot of young ladies, every single day, you're encountering them firsthand in the secondary educational system as an educator. Who are you behind the makeup and what are you doing to help these young ladies to basically see themselves as just a feminine, solid, strong energy?
Well, one thing I was just listening to everybody, and one thing I think everybody's saying that I can agree with is that that light. I'm a glue. I'm the glue. And I sit here and I thought about that. I am the glue that holds my family together, my friends together, my students together. I don't, when I walk in the room, and I had to learn to embrace that. When I walk in the room, it's a light that I have and people gravitate to me. And I had to accept that as time, because people will try to make you feel bad about that. And I've learned to embrace it. I've learned to walk in a room and be okay with people gravitating to me. I don't meet a stranger. One of my students, matter of fact, one of my old students is online. She jumped in, and I sent her a message to come in. And she's one of those young ladies that I had the honor of mentoring. And she's at Texas Southern right now. Jamie McKay, she's on, if she's still on. She went to Houston Can Academy. And again, at ages, you're talking about 18 to 25. I still have young ladies right now that I have forged those relationships with, because I was that glue, and I was the mama to them, and the aunt or the big sister. But also the image. I'm very, when it comes to image and, or I don't take for granted. I always used to say, well, you don't know this, or you don't know that. So my job is to help them, to nurture them, and to show them that, like what she just said, that it's not about the social media. It's who you are, the makeup without the makeup.
Right, exactly.
And what can I do to help you be a better woman? And I've learned to embrace that. I've learned to be the glue. I've learned to accept that God gave me a talent, like you said, and that talent is to love, to shine, and to not be afraid of it, and to allow God to use me however He wants to use me. And being able to still have those relationships with my students and see those young ladies and see what they're doing. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see the growth and to see where they are. And I'm glad that, I've been able to be that light and be that God, and not be afraid to let God use me.
Well, no, that's right. Dr. Jerry, in what you do, I know you deal with a lot of things that have to do with who people are behind the makeup, especially from a clinical standpoint, and helping people to deal with their traumas and things like that. I've seen a few videos from your YouTube page, and you've talked about several things. What is one of the main things that you see women have a challenge with taking off the makeup? What are some of the main things that you feel that we struggle with, just even in our authentic state, or even trying to figure out who we are?
I would say worrying about what others would think. When you have individuals who go through, i.e. domestic violence or sexual assault, they tend to be mute. They tend not to say anything because of fear of what other people would say about them. They will see them differently. They won't see them as strong. They'll see them as weak, or they'll see them as trash instead of, someone who God sees them as in their own image. So a lot of times they'll try to put on, since we're talking about makeup, there's layers to that, right? They'll put on the makeup, they'll put on that foundation, that concealer, and all those other things to hide behind the bruises and the black eye and those things. But then they also have the other makeup piece where they're trying to hide from others, because again of what other people would think of them, once that gets out that they've been abused, or they've been a victim of abuse, or a victim of rape, or a victim of bullying, or anything like that. So you'll see that a lot: the fear, the shame, the guilt, the lack of support, the fear of the unknown, not knowing that people will help them, but it's just a matter of being vulnerable enough to put themselves out there to say that I need help. So instead of opening their mouth, they'll basically stay in that little shell, hoping that a miracle will happen. But the truth be told, I mean, we all got to take that first step in order to even get that help.
Right. So true. You said some powerful things, and what came to mind as you were talking, in Janiqua, I thought about an onion and unpeeling the layers. When you look at an onion, it has so many layers, and you just keep peeling and peeling and peeling. And all the time, the unique part about it is you're in tears. You're in tears. As those layers are being unpeeled, you're opening up all of the stuff that you've been hiding, it all gets opened up while those layers are being unpeeled. Loretta, I know as a coach, you've had to encounter some young ladies and maybe some older ladies that have had to deal with unpeeling those layers. What are some of the things that what are some of the guiding compass things that you give them as tools to help them get to that place of being okay without the makeup?
I will give you a perfect example, and not even saying of what I do to help others when I'm coaching them, just something I did to help myself. One of the main things that has to be done to peel those layers behind, because a lot of times we can blame outside influences. We can blame it on a lot of things, but the bottom line of it is everything is a choice. And for me, it was really a matter of being in four walls just with myself, dealing with me, dealing with what I had going on, dealing with that. And when I was able to deal with that, when I was able to deal with me, everything else made sense. So when you're able to deal with yourself and you're able to be with yourself, love yourself, you're able to, recite God's word, remember who you are, what you are, whose you are, and why you're here, what your purpose for, then you're able to peel back those layers, and you're able to deal with things a little more gracefully. Because truth be told, yes, we're going to need to go and we're going to need to talk to somebody. We're going to need some help. But the bottom line of it is, a lot of it comes from dealing with you, and then you'll be able to deal with everything else. That's one thing that really helped me. And that's one thing that I always tell people, deal with you, because that's where it first starts. Because you can blame a lot of other stuff. You can say society, or this happened or that happened, or I didn't have this when I was younger, or I didn't have that. Well, the bottom line of it is, when I came out, I didn't know how to walk. I didn't even know how to crawl, but gradually, by the grace of God, I accomplished so many steps. Look, y'all, I'm crawling. Look, y'all, I'm walking. Look, y'all, I done peeled back the layers because I dealt with me. That's my take on it.
That's good stuff. To Mitchell, piggyback on that, and then we're going to go back to Cynthia.
Yeah, I agree with Loretta. My biggest motto is walk with it. You got to learn to walk with it, because it's one of those things where, you can be in pain and you have these things going on. And until you really learn to because sitting in silence is so deafening. People don't understand that. It's so deafening when you don't have the distraction of the outside. And I think that's what this pandemic caused. It caused a lot of us to just sit, and we have to sit with who we are, and we have to kind of face the things that, we're going through. And it just is such a reminder, like Loretta said, is that you have to learn to walk with these things, because a lot of us are 15-year-olds stuck in 43-year-old bodies. We still dealing with the same stuff we was dealing with when we spit, because we never dealt with it. So now you're 45 years old, running through a whole bunch of relationships, or running through a whole bunch of people, or this cutoff culture. You don't know how to act. There's a lot of different things that, we're as older, we're in adult bodies, but like I said, we're dealing with, 12 and 13-year-old stuff that we never actually dealt with, so we have gotten great at walking with it and looking the part and being great. But at the end of the day, we haven't really faced, who we are. And like Loretta said, I got to learn to deal with me. And that is painful. It is super duper painful. And I don't think a lot of people are ready to deal with that type of pain. It's like peeling a scab off, or peeling some scar tissue off. It's hard, So that's kind of my take on it, dealing with that type of makeup.
I think too, I think one thing that what you guys are saying is that when you get up in the morning to put that makeup on, you have to look at one thing and one person in that mirror, and that's yourself. So you can put all the glam on, but when you get up, you have to look at self. And sometimes that's the hardest pill to swallow, is the self pill. And we can sit here and We can do it because we've gotten, like you said, those layers. We've had to peel that onion back and get real with ourselves. And until anybody does that, it's younger women, anybody that we come in contact with, until you can deal with self, you're not good to anybody. That the makeup and your makeup, it's kind of pointless if you don't deal with the individual that you're looking at every day in that mirror.
That, you know what, I'm glad you brought that up about the mirror experience. I did a video, it's been a while since I did it, but I shared with several people, and this goes for guys too. I said, when you look in that mirror, are you disgusted or delighted? And ask yourself, you know, when you look in the mirror, if you see scars and blemishes and things like that, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Are you apprehensive that when you walk outside, somebody else is going to see the same defect that you see? Or are you good with whatever it is that they see, regardless of what they see, because you know exactly who you are without the makeup? And some scars will never leave us. They will never leave us. It's going to be a part of who we are forging forward, and it will never, ever go away. But we have to still, again, be good with the makeup, not the conceal. I'm not concealing anything. It is what it is. It's either you're gonna deal with me how I am, or you're gonna find somebody else to deal with, because I'm not making any adjustments or concessions for you wanting me to slap on some concealer and a little bit of MAC and all that kind of stuff so I can look like a perfect image of what you think I should be. Cynthia, get into that for us. Get into that when you have people in the space of these images that they feel like you should be, or how you should walk as a woman, with the concept of the makeup. And, you know, certain arenas, people want you to be this way or that way, or do this or do that. And I know you come up across a lot of different types of people in the industry that you're in, and in the businesses that you do, and the hats that you hold, and the seats that you hold, leadership and authority. Talk to us about the makeup in your actual arena, in your actual business world.
Yes, that's it's so huge when it comes to that. But I want to back up a little bit on what Loretta and Daniqua and yourself said about that mirror. We do a lot of exercises, and when you say when they look in that mirror, what do they see? What do they see? Do you know they can have a mirror and they, well, what do you mean? What do you really see? It all starts with yourself. And a lot has to do with them growing up, the household. So I have to deal with all types of individuals that's been going through a lot of things. So the young girls, and it goes for the guys too. It's not only for the girls, it goes for the guys too. They don't know who they are. They truly don't. And they have to spend that quiet time. You must be able to be alone. Some people have a company just because they don't want to be alone to deal with themselves. But you have to start, it starts with you. It really starts with you.
We got a great question in the comments. I'm gonna start with you, Cynthia, and then we're gonna go to Dr. Jerry from there. Okay. And then we're gonna just let every woman just basically answer this question. So Antoinette Caldwell put a question: what are some constructive ways to deal with yourself?
Be honest. You gotta be honest with yourself and deal with those things that you have not dealt with. Being transparent. I think that's the start of it. Because again, are you living for you, or are you living for someone else? Are you trying to uphold, my mother or my father wants me to be a doctor, or they want me to be an actress or whatever? You have to find yourself first. You got to be transparent with yourself, be honest.
Dr. Jerry, what are some things that we can do to deal with ourselves?
I would say acknowledge your pain, acknowledge your hurt, realize that you are not perfect, and also be willing to ask for help. It's okay. You know, I hear people say all the time, you know, you'll hear people say the words, well, if you go to a therapist or a counselor or a coach, that you're crazy. No, the truth is, going to a therapist, counselor, or coach will stop you from going crazy.
Hello.
And
Yeah.
going on the deep end and causing you to want to self-inflict and cause the harm to yourself and having these suicidal ideations, it will stop you from going there. So I think when we realize that we need help and acknowledge that, that's the biggest step right there, is how to deal with yourself, acknowledging all the things, all the baggage that you're dealing with, and be willing to start putting that trash in the trash.
I know that's right. So same question, Janiqua. What are some constructive ways to deal with yourself?
I think loving yourself. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Loving everything about you, the scars, the good days, the bad days. And I think sometimes we have a hard time. Again, it goes back to that mirror thing. You know, how I love hard, but I love me harder, you know. And I love self, and I think self-care is important for any woman, any individual. It's just not about women; it's men too. You have to love yourself enough to say, "I need to take some time." Like you said, take that time out. The stigma for the African American community is that we don't want to get help because and as women, Black women, we just dealt with it because that's how we know how to deal with it. We know how to be strong because my mom was strong, or my mom's mom was strong. So we don't deal with the issues that we need to deal with because we don't want someone to say, "Oh, you had to go get help." Yeah, I had to talk to somebody, you know, and I love myself enough to admit that I need that help. And so I think just, you know, acknowledging that or loving yourself is one of the first ways to start with that process.
And I think we need to know that we have permission to do so.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us don't feel like we have the permission to get the help that we so desperately need because our parents, our mothers, our grandmothers, they didn't give themselves permission. Not somebody else giving you permission, but you giving yourself permission to say, regardless of anybody's assumption, if I don't go get help, like Dr. Jerry said, I'm gonna either hurt myself or hurt somebody else. One of the two, but in order for me to make certain that I don't self-inflict or self-destruct, I am going to find somebody to help me save myself. Because, you know, it goes back to the plane concept. Here's a picture for everybody. When you're on a plane, the flight attendant gives everybody the same instructions. I don't care if you're going to China or you're going to Atlanta. The same instruction holds true. If in the event something happens and that oxygen mask drops out of the sky, put it on you first and then take care of everybody else. But if you don't put it on you first, the life that you're saving, it won't be your own. And I think that's the biggest misnomer that we have, especially in our hue, is understanding that the oxygen mask, it needs to go on you first, not on the kids, not on the husband, not on the job, not on the friend, none of that stuff. The oxygen mask needs to hit your face first. So to Mitchell, go ahead and piggyback on that question. What are some constructive ways to deal with yourself?
I think the very first way, and this is like 20,000 leagues under the sea deep, is to understand as a child, what did you get praised for? What did you get the most attention for? Did you get the most attention for completing tasks, being a hard worker, throwing temper tantrums, being negative? What being different? What did you get the most attention for as a child? And a lot of times what that does is that morphs into our adulthood. And then we're like, damn, I always used to get attention for being a brat or for being negative or for being, you know, yelling and popping off and doing so much. That's what I received my attention from. Whether it's dysfunctional or functional, if we don't really recognize, if we don't go back, if we don't go way back, a lot of times you can't really identify that. So I think that's important. And I think and once you get to that point, you really have to admit what you're dealing with. if you don't learn to really like admit it, you know, just be like, girl, listen, I'm having a hard time, you know, with this part of myself, or with my weight, with my people telling me that I'm too dark skinned, people telling me I'm too light skinned, people telling me my hair ain't this or that. I'm having a hard time. I think it just comes from where did you receive most of your attention from, and where are you willing to admit that you're having trouble with? Because a lot of people aren't willing to admit that. They ain't gonna say I got a hard time with, you know, my stomach being crazy after 5 kids. They're not, I mean, there's confidence things that come along with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I feel like it's just like, where did you get your most attention from, and where are you willing to admit that some of that attention was dysfunctional and you need to change that?
Ooh, honey, that's good stuff right there. All righty, so Loretta Diane, go ahead. What are some of the constructive ways to deal with yourself?
I agree with everything that all of the ladies have said. And for me, I like to break things down in steps, because you can say, you know, go back to this or go back to that. But a lot of times when a person has done something for so long, or they have attached a certain idea or emotion to a certain thing, they don't know how to change that. So what they actually need is quantifiable steps in order to be able to change that. Because just to say to change it, we can sit here and say that all day long. But if that was the case, they would have been done it. But people need actual real life steps. So I would say step 1, get out a journal, write down everything that has hurt you in your adult life. That's step 1. Number 2, grab another sheet of paper and write down everything that you can remember that hurt you from when you were a child and a teenager. Write down everything that you can remember that hurt you, any type of emotional pain, emotional trauma. Write all of that down, no matter how big or no matter how small, because you don't know what type of emotion you are tying to that feeling. Step number 3, grab one more sheet of paper and write down any heartache that shares similarities and keeps repeating in different forms. Now, if you don't know what that means, that's any type of heartache that you have had that keeps manifesting itself over and over again, but in different ways. But it's the same type of situation, but it just keeps repeating itself. Write that down too. Now, after you've done that, meditate, sit with it, and ask yourself, why might these cycles keep repeating themselves? And when you ask yourself, why are those cycles repeating themselves, you have to also take ownership for your part in it as well. Because we all know there's 3 sides to every story. So you have to be willing to take ownership in your part in it as well. And then find out the theme of these situations and track back to why this may occur and why it may keep replaying in different variations and keep manifesting in your life. So you want to actually just sit there and think about why these things are happening. And when you're thinking about why these things are happening and why they keep happening, don't come into it with the ideology of being a victim, because you're going to stay in the situation if you come into it thinking like you're the victim, because you're not the victim. You are victorious because you are trying to get the victory over this. So you want to figure out why it keeps manifesting in your life. So once you're able to figure that out, then you're able to kind of change your idea and your thought process around it. So say, for example, when I was little, I did not like to go to the beach. I didn't like to go to the beach because every time I got home, it took me a couple of days to get that sand from down there. I ain't like to go to the beach.
Right.
So guess what? A Florida girl that does not like the beach. I did not start liking the beach until I got in my 30s. But what happened was I changed my mindset about it. Instead of me thinking about me going home washing for days, I just thought about sitting out there in the calmness. It's great for me to meditate when I'm out there. I had to change my mindset and my perception around that idea because of something that happened when I was a child. So sit down and actually think about those things, write those things down. Because one thing about it, if we just think about things, it's up here in between right here in between your ears. That's the most dangerous place for anything to sit. The most dangerous place for anything to sit. So you want to actually write it down. That's why the Bible say, write it and make it plain.
That's right. That's facts. That's facts.
Good stuff, Loretta. That's good stuff.
Right. We're going to start bringing the train in. We're at the 10-minute mark. And like I said, when we first started, we always want to be respectful, not only of our audience time, but the panelist time, because we're on different time zones. So we definitely want to honor the times and knowing that it's still a part of the regular work week for several of us. So we want to start wrapping things up. Dr. Jerry, we want to start with you. What would be your takeaways from this discussion tonight? And how do we forge forward being okay without the makeup?
That's a loaded question.
I love them, honey.
I would say number one takeaway is love yourself enough because you are enough. I think that when we start loving ourselves, as the ladies here and Miss Janiqua mentioned earlier, you got to love yourself. Making that a priority. You spoke about the flight attendant and talking about, taking care of me first. It's okay to be selfish when it comes to you. And I think sometimes we as women don't realize that. We be so ready to save everybody else, but when are we going to start saving ourselves? So loving ourselves first, making ourselves a priority, and then understanding that our past does not define who we are. It's how we decide to overcome those things will determine what and who we are. And when we realize whose we are, then we actually overcome all of those different things, right?
Yeah.
So just understanding that, loving ourselves, realizing who we are, and just understanding, putting ourselves as a priority, and knowing that it's okay to be selfish in our own healing journey.
Amen. Cynthia, what are your takeaways from tonight's dialogue, and how can we forge forward being okay without the makeup?
Well, I love what Dr. Jerry said. And again, first, love yourself first. And it's okay. What I learned in this segment, you're not alone. We're not alone.
That's right.
And that's very, very important. And I think a lot of people feel that they're alone because they went through certain things, but you're not alone. Mm-hmm. So that's my biggest takeaway. And put yourself first, be transparent, and be selfish sometimes.
And enjoy being selfish, honey.
Yes.
Don't apologize for it. Enjoy it. Enjoy
One of my
it.
coaches said,
yes.
No, it's a complete sentence.
Girl, facts. I mean, it's ironic that we're having this dialogue, because I remember probably about 6 months ago, my daughter was like, my youngest daughter, she said, Ma, you always doing something for us. When you gonna do something for yourself? I said, oh, boo, don't worry. I always tend to me. You may not see what I'm doing to tend to me, honey, but I see it. And that's all that's important. So when I come in here and you think that I haven't been taking care of P. Koffe Brown, I promise you I have, boo. Don't worry. Mama good. Don't even worry about it, baby. So when I come in here, I am well equipped and ready to meet your needs, because I've already handled and taken care of mine. I mean, a lot of time I would say that I'm going to work. I'm not going to work. I'm having me a self-care day. That's my work day. Hello, somebody. You can't tell the children's ministry about the self-care church, honey. So I would say, once that brother got of age and he was able to really kind of watch them, and he got out of high school and all that kind of stuff, I say, hey, I got to go to work for about 4 hours. I'll be back. I'm just doing a half day today. Baby, I'll be in the spa getting it in. You understand me? Getting it in. And you got to do that, and you got to be okay with that. And you don't have to make a public service announcement, honey, but make sure that you are taking care of what you need. It could be something so little as, like me, with me having short hair, as going to the barbershop, as finding a barber that fits your personality and can speak to what you need in the energy that you need, because everybody's not fit for everybody. You can't have everybody all up in your head, regardless of what kind of hairstyle you have. You gotta know who can work with you and who's working for you, and whose energy you can receive, and it doesn't transmute something negative into you as you receiving services from them. But that's a whole nother show. To Mitchell, what is your takeaway from tonight's girl? I'm getting excited over here. Okay, what is your takeaway from tonight's dialogue, and how can we be good without the makeup?
I think that what Miss Giles said, as far as, I'm sorry, Giles and Miss Felder said, is that you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know, like I think we think we so special, but we not. It's like you're not. You know, you're not going through anything that somebody else has not and is not experiencing. My grandmama used to always say, ain't nothing new under the sun, baby. Whatever you going through, somebody else is either going through it worse or they're in the same boat with you. My takeaway is opening our mouths and really being completely transparent with each other and not looking at each other like, oh, she's so drama, she's so emotional. You know, she might be at this point, but I think my biggest takeaway is that there's a big me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, real, girl, I can't even answer the question of who I am. I just learned to answer that 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, stop. Can we not be power women all the time? Because I'm not.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I'm not. I'm really not. And that's what I'm taking away from this is that that's where the makeup comes off. Is that I don't have it all together all the time. Girl, give me some wine. I need to sit down and watch some Housewives.
Wait a minute. Don't
listen. I need to skate.
Girl, the Stella Rose ministry, huh?
Listen, I need something. Give me something. I need to skate.
Yes. Feel my
Snoop 19 crimes. That's Snoop 19 crimes. I'm just telling you.
Girl, the Snoop Dogg is amazing. You should
yes,
try it.
it is.
Amazing.
It is. That's okay, I'm the red wine diva. Look, we off task. Sorry.
Okay, that's it. That's it.
To Mitchell, do not get the red wine diva up in here with the red wine because she will educate us.
Snoop,
red wine.
That Snoop Dogg is amazing. 19 Crimes is amazing too. But I'm gonna be done. But that's my takeaway.
Okay. I'm gonna add those to my red wine ministries. All right. Janiqua Lachey, what is your takeaway from tonight, and how can we be good without the makeup?
And this just one of my favorite lines in the movie just came to me. Listening to everyone, just know you is kind, you is smart, and you is important. It's just that simple. It's not a whole lot, and you know I say that all the time, but it, you know, that's what it is.
Yes.
And pray. It's like you said, journaling, and like you said, it's nothing new under the sun. You ask him, he's gonna get you through it. Yes. I don't care where you are, how low you get, because I've been there. I've been at my lowest. And I know without a doubt, journaling, praying, and believing and trusting and just asking God to order each of my steps, that's how I've been able to do it, you know, and that's my takeaway, you know, and know that you are important, you're beautiful, you're kind. And like she said, it's okay. I don't always have it together. I don't always want to put on the makeup.
Come on now.
It's some days I don't want to go to the barbershop. It's some days I just want to sleep all day and I don't want to be judged because I don't want to get out of my bed.
And let me stay in my PJs. Let me be up in my PJs, okay?
And that's okay. And I might just want to sit in my bed and drink me a bottle of wine and read and just sit.
Yes.
And I don't want to be judged for that. So
yes, honey. Ooh, listen, y'all. Listen. Y'all got, we need to bring some glasses of wine up in here with some night and get this conversation popping, honey. True facts. Listen, ladies, this has been an incredible dialogue. The comments were going off, but I really wanted to stay focused on the energy that you all presented and the power and the purpose and the passion and the fluidity of the dialogue to really, really help people, be it male or female, to really, really realize who they are without the makeup. Oh my gosh, this was so beautiful. I definitely want us to definitely come together again at another time when all of our schedules permit to kind of come back for a round two soon, you know, real soon, and have a round two and kind of dive deeper into this discussion with it, maybe another topic, but kind of along the same lines, and kind of add some more value to people's lives and you know, share with them some more wealth of knowledge and some more nuggets to help them to become the best version of themselves. There's some people out here struggling, and this pandemic has proven a lot of people that were hiding and masquerading behind the makeup. Honey, it is off now for sure. They cannot hide anymore. So, you know, a lot of people really, really need dialogues and conversations like this to really help them to start forging forward successfully without the makeup. Ladies, please put in the chat once we are offline every way that our community can get in contact with you so that they can connect with each of you individually, because I know that somebody in the audience resonated with one of our guest panelists tonight and they want to connect directly to you. So please, once we're off, please get in the chat and let everybody know how to directly connect with you. Guys, you guys, these are some powerful, amazing women, and they are doing things to impact society at large. Every last one of these women are not only talking the talk, but they are walking this thing out and true value adders to lives all over the globe. You guys do not want to miss an opportunity to connect with these incredible beings. Okay, now if you stalking and all kinds of stuff now, I'm gonna need you not to be in the DM ministries. Okay, please don't come for none of the women on the panel, honey. We talking about people that want value added, honey, and it may just cost you. I'm gonna tell you right now, honey, the ministries is not free. All right, just
block ministry is true.
Come on, honey. Yeah. That's a whole entire another ministry connection right there, honey. The block ministry, honey. Ain't it? That's a whole word right there, too, honey. That's a whole entire word. Okay. But I really love you all. I appreciate you all being on the show with us tonight. I got to go pick my baby up, literally pick her up from work. And I appreciate y'all being here with me, present with me. Thank you for your time, for your service to this community, to this audience, and to being on the hot seat. Listen, until next time, this is Coach P. Koffe Brown, the great state of Texas, by way of H-Town, baby, saying good night, grace, peace, and blessings. Remember to mask up. You might not just—
Thank you, girl. We love you.
And them too. I love y'all.
Thank you so much.
Please put in the chat so everybody can connect with you. I love y'all so much. Thank you for your time, and I will see y'all again soon. Good night, beauty.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.